Hey, howdy, hello. This is Tanya, the tour guide, bringing you another episode of New Orleans Secret Myths. New Orleans French Quarter lace. In the French Quarter, they call it lace, iron lace. Delicate patterns curling from balconies above narrow streets, black metal twisting into flowers, hearts, stars, vines, like frozen music hanging over the city. Tourists photograph it, lovers kiss beneath it, most never question it. But what if the iron was never simply decorative? What if hidden inside these patterns were symbols, messages, ancient echoes disguised as architecture? Tonight, we walk beneath the balconies of the quarter, not as tourists, but as investigators, into the fires that forged New Orleans, into the myths of hidden civilizations, into sacred geometry, fertility symbolism, energy theories, and the strange belief that the iron itself remembers. This is Iron Laced and Hidden Codes. Before the iron, there was wood. New Orleans in the early 1700s was humid, chaotic, muddy, crowded, and dangerously flammable. The city was young. Founded in 1718 by Jean-Baptiste Lemoyne de Bienville under French colonial rules, it sat in a swampy crescent bend of the Mississippi River. The streets were narrow, buildings leaned close together, most structures were made of cypress timber, wooden beams, tar, plaster. Perfect fuel for disaster. The city smelled of river mud, smoke, rotting produce, sweat, horses, salt air, and above all, fear. Because fire haunted colonial cities, candles, kitchen hearths, lightning storms, one spark could erase everything, and eventually it did. On Good Friday, March 21st, 1788, the city burned. The Great New Orleans Fire of 1788 destroyed approximately 850 buildings. Nearly the entire city vanished in flames. Church bells rang in panic. Families fled into the streets. Smoke darkened the sky, and afterward, there was silence. But destruction creates opportunity. At the time, New Orleans was under Spanish rule. Spanish officials saw the disaster not simply as a tragedy, but as a chance to reshape the city permanently. No more fragile wooden facades, no more crowded timber wharves. The rebuilt orders demanded brick construction, stucco walls, tiled roofs, internal courtyards, arcades, iron balconies. The quarter we know today was born from catastrophe. People often call it French ironwork, but much of it arrives decades later during the 1800s. And most of it wasn't hand-forged wrought iron. It was cast iron. Industrial, molded, repeated. The Industrial Revolution transformed architecture forever. Iron could now be mass-produced, shipped long distances, installed quickly, repeated endlessly. New Orleans, as one of America's busiest ports, became the perfect stage. Steamboats carried iron pieces downriver like black lace cargo. Balconies arrived in crates. Patterns repeated from building to building. Yet somehow, they still felt alive. No figure shaped New Orleans ironwork more than Michela Almonaster Pontabla. Her name still hangs over Jackson Square and the legendary Pontabla buildings. Constructed in the 1840s, they became symbols of elegance, wealth, and permanence. The balconies carried her initials, A.P., embedded into the iron itself, identity cast into metal, power frozen into architecture. And here, the idea begins. What if the iron wasn't merely ornamental, but symbolic? The fleur-de-lis appears everywhere in New Orleans, historically tied to French monarchy. It evolved here into something deeper: survival, resurrection, a city reborn repeatedly from fire, flood, war, hurricane, disease. The symbol itself resembles a lily, a flame, a spear, a trinity, 3 points rising upward. In an occult interpretation, upward movement means ascension. Was that intentional? Probably not, but symbols gather meanings over time, especially in New Orleans. The quarter's iron curls like vines, like tendrils, like fingers intertwining. Victorian design favored romance motifs, hearts, flowers, botanical spirals. But in New Orleans, love and vice often shared the same balcony. From the era of Storyville, women leaned over these rails, watching the streets below. Madams decorated their houses lavishly. Iron became theater. Seduction cast into architecture. And the repeating vines, some historians simply see decoration. Others see symbols of temptation, entrapment, desire, phallic. Now the patterns become stranger: interlocking triangles, six-pointed forms, hexagonal repetition. Some viewers interpret these resembling the Star of David. Historically, these shapes appear across many cultures: Jewish symbolism, Islamic mosaics, Christian geometry, alchemical diagrams. The interlocking triangles traditionally represent heaven and earth, masculine and feminine, spirit and body. In New Orleans, where culture fuses constantly, symbols lost singular meaning. Everything blended. Catholic saints merged with African spirits. European design merged with Caribbean mysticism. The city itself became syncretic, and so did its architecture. This is the segment tourists rarely hear, but once noticed, it cannot be unseen. Many iron patterns feature speared tips, upright forms, rounded finials, repeated vertical protrusions. Historically, these were protective, decorative, fashionable, but symbolism matters. Ancient cultures' upright spears form represented masculinity, protection, fertility, authority. And New Orleans was obsessed with lineage, with family, with inheritance. Buildings themselves became extensions of bloodlines. The balcony railings projected status outward into the street, power made visible. Perhaps the most hypnotic element in repetition, the loops never seem to end. Pattern after pattern after pattern, like circuitry, like coded language. Human brains naturally search for meaning inside repetition. This is why music moves us, ritual comforts us, and geometry fascinates us. The quarter's ironwork creates visual rhythm, almost musical, and at night, under flickering gas lamps, the shadows move. The city feels alive. Now we enter theory. Iron conducts electricity. That is fact. And New Orleans is one of America's most electrically active storm regions. Lightning, humidity, static charge, but some believe the iron does more. That the balconies somehow hold emotion, amplify atmosphere, conduct memory. Scientifically, no evidence supports this, yet emotionally, people feel it. Stand beneath the balconies during a summer storm. The air thickens, the metal glistens, the city hums, and suddenly, the theory doesn't feel entirely impossible. Most internet mythology introduced a strange idea: Tartaria, a supposedly lost advanced civilization erased from history. Conspiracy theorists point to the ornate architecture worldwide and ask, How could older societies build such beauty? But the answer is simple: human craftsmanship, industrial casting, global trade. There is no evidence of a hidden Tartarian empire in New Orleans, but the theory persists because the architecture feels impossible. Too elegant, too intricate, too timeless, and mystery always finds a home in New Orleans. The Iron watched fires, duels, jazz funerals, lovers, prostitutes, priests, hurricanes, murders, celebrations. Generation after generation passed beneath it, and perhaps that is why the balconies feel alive. Not because they conduct supernatural energy, but because they hold accumulated human story. Emotion leaves residue, and nowhere preserves emotional residue like New Orleans. So next time you walk beneath the iron lace, look up, because in this city, nothing is ever just decoration. Maybe the iron is still listening. Thank you for joining me on New Orleans Secret Miss, where history isn't just told, it's felt. This is Tanya, the tour guide. I hope this made sense, and I hope it helps you better understand the beautiful artistry of the ironwork gilding all of our great buildings inside of our historic French Quarter. I'll be signing off. Thanks so much. See you next week.